Well, thank you so much. Now, I know that it's the time of day where it's really hard not to start closing your eyes. When we had that little break, I saw people tipping the coffee dispensers practically upside down to get the very last drop out of them. So I know what I'm up against. And what I like to do when we're at this time of day, whether it's children or with adults, is to just move just a little bit. So I'm not going to make you all stand up, but why don't you, as you're sitting down, just start to wiggle your toes and just shift your weight from side to side in your chair. Just get the blood moving around, and down on the side of your chair, you can shake your hand out a little bit. Maybe roll your shoulders a couple times. Just keep the blood flowing. Keep the blood flowing. That's what we got to do, okay? And fortunately, my presentation to you all today is going to be a field trip. I'm taking you on a virtual field trip. Does that sound okay? All right, I'm going to take you to Gene's Urban Forest Farm in Portland, Oregon, where I am the farm manager, and there's so many things going on. So there's so many stories I want to tell you. I have to keep it short because there's a lot that we're fitting in for the day, so excuse the brevity in areas where I would love to just go on and on and on. So again, my name is Matt Bibeau. I'm visiting you from Portland, Oregon, and the title of my presentation is Growing a Livable Future with Organic Urban Agriculture. I want to give special thanks to the event organizers, distinguished guests, everyone who is here today. The future looks brighter with you in the picture. And I want us to really think about, and I know that you're all doing this all day long, but why do we value organic? Is it a product? Is it a method? Is it a healthy food movement? Is it a healthy environmental movement? I believe that surely it's all of these things. Many of our presenters today have prepared insightful and inspiring presentations to share with you a story about their place in the global effort to support and inspire the next generation of organic farms and businesses. So thank you for welcoming me to share my own story. So for me, with getting into organic agriculture, I didn't want to be a farmer when I was a kid. That wasn't what my goal was. I wanted to spend as much time as possible in nature. My parents took me into nature at a very young age, 2 weeks old actually. Nature's my best friend. And as I grew up, the college degree program that would allow me to spend the most time in nature was environmental science. So I got my undergraduate degree in environmental science. And as a result of that, I got a job working in Sequoia National Park in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. And if you know anything about sequoia trees, they're the largest tree in the world. Not the tallest, but the largest. And like many industrialized places in the world, most of the original forests were cut down in the name of industrial growth and development. And only a very few places in the continental United States were spared from losing its oldest trees. Yet, in an effort to protect these last remaining stands, the US government made great effort to fight fires that were caused by lightning. But what they didn't know was that the sequoia trees needed fire for the survival of the species, as well as the local ecology. Scientists knew that the half-meter thick bark could help these trees survive fires. But what was not yet understood was how these trees required the heat from a fire to actually germinate its seeds. Nutrients from other trees that aren't fire resistant, from them burning the nutrients from that ash to give them nutrition to grow up, and opening up in the canopy to get the sunlight to eventually one day be a large sequoia tree like their parents. So I began to wonder, why do we sometimes cause harm even to the things that we love? And what kinds of life experience would be helpful for us to develop a more integrated, whole systems worldview so that our impacts throughout our lives might be not only sustainable, but actually regenerative and reversing the damage already done? How can we do that? How can we have that perspective? My introduction to urban organic agriculture came as I tried to find an answer to my questions. Many people don't think of the city as a place to experience nature. Many people accept the idea that cities are for people and nature can only be found outside of the city. But the truth is that if we accept the idea that cities are for people and we can just go outside of the city to enjoy nature, we will continue to bring our human problems to nature wherever we go. And we will raise generations of children growing up in urban environments who might never get to fall in love with nature. And so they may never find their passion to understand and protect it. But how can we connect the most children with nature in the city? The answer that I found was to grow an organic school garden and build a garden-based learning program. Gardens are themselves a little piece of nature. And the organic garden in particular has the opposite effect of chemical agriculture on a place. Rather than kill soil, growing organically helps bring the soil back to life. Chemical-free soil and plants attract many beneficial insects and provide important food and habitat. Organic agriculture can support the web of life that many cities have nearly destroyed. And so my passion for urban organic agriculture was born. While nature could be found in a school garden, I learned that it was also important for children to experience more of a balance of agriculture and natural ecologies. So as a graduate student at Portland State University, I began to work at a small urban farm, which 10 years prior to my arrival there, was the site of the first organic community-supported agriculture farm in the city of Portland. Here, at this farm that we call Jean's Farm, in a forest in the city, this small farm exists not just as a farm, but as an urban wildlife refuge. Here, the farmers did not fight or compete with nature so much. Growing organic produce was just one outcome of the efforts here. Guided by the principles of permaculture, which is a whole systems approach to positively impacting all of our surroundings, this farm was actually increasing biodiversity of the local wildlife. And I believe the presenter that follows me will share more about permaculture, which I'm very excited about. Sunflowers, to me, are a great symbol of this relationship. They're a great source of food, but they're also so much more than that. They're incredibly beautiful. They attract and feed pollinators, food source for birds in particular. And rather seeing this as a nuisance, we understand that the birds are part of the web of relationships. As the birds take out the seeds, they always drop some of them. And so the next year, the sunflowers grow back on their own. The same thing with this beautiful purple amaranth. It too is a nutritious food, but its deeper value on this organic farm is its beauty and its benefits to wildlife. Even some organic farms can actually lack nature-supporting functions if it's an industrial monocrop. This style is common in the USA, and it's very profit-driven, but I believe that most organic farmers are also earth stewards and healers. If we measure success in our agricultural endeavors by our ability to build fertility naturally and enhance biodiversity, another kind of wealth can be experienced. And in a city, there are lots of free and otherwise wasted resources available, and also a very strong need to serve as a biological refuge. This can be accomplished with urban organic agriculture if these are also your goals. And let us not only grow food and increase biodiversity, but let us also grow a community where we can build meaningful relationships and provide mutual aid to our communities in times of need. At our farm, most of our helpers trade for a share of the produce, and the food that would be sold would go to local families. So our food production is staying very local. But the most valuable crop has been growing children that are connected to food and nature. It has been so successful that we have reduced the need to sell our produce to pay for rent and to purchase supplies. For over 10 years, we have run a farm school where the fields, orchards, and forests are considered part of our classroom, and where the farm kitchen is the place where we can learn how to cook with our organic produce. And the children would not only help cook the food, but they would also help make the natural ovens that were used to cook the food. If people don't know how to cook, there's much less of a chance that they're going to make healthy food choices. So by teaching children how to build and how to cook, how to grow, we are also supporting the organic food movement and also inspiring the next generation of organic farmers. At our school, most years, there are about 12 to 15 students. They come 4 to 5 days a week for their full second, third, and fourth grade experience. This is not a field trip. This is not a small part of their educational experience, but this is their school. They help plant and harvest seasonal foods. They help prepare them for the class to enjoy. One of my favorite jobs is to be on some years I get to be the cooking teacher. We have so much fun. They also take great pride in making food for each other and asking each other, can you taste what that secret ingredient is? Or making teas with mixes of herbs that they harvested and saying, can you guess what that secret herb is? They also learn what wild plants are edible or can be used to make teas and natural medicine. And most of the students, by the time they go through this school program, they can identify over 30 wild plants and their uses, and they even teach and sometimes heal their parents. That's pretty cool. So we should ask ourselves, how can we inspire people with the food that we grow? You know, we've got a really beautiful setup here, and we take pride in how we set up the experience of children working with food. And they're very much a part of it, but there is some attention paid to the appearance and presence. There are a lot of flavors, a lot of colors, a lot of textures that interests children immensely. People of all ages are drawn to beauty. I mean, look at all these beautiful flowers here. It really enhances the experience. And with a little extra effort, we can present food in an artful way so that more people can appreciate its richness, which is a labor of love. I'm actually excited when I go back to Portland. We're going to make salsa verde with the tomatillos. It's one of my favorites. In cities, there are a lot of people who might be interested in what you are doing on your organic farm, if your farm is in the city. People who might be willing to come and experience part of the process, volunteer, attend workshops or classes. So part of my message to you today is that urban organic farms can have a diversity of purposes, income sources, and community offerings. I love to teach organic cooking classes. I also offer these classes through a local community college. College students come to the farm and we cook food together in two of our wood-fired ovens. Take them from how to prepare the wood and make a nice hot fire to the different stages of the temperature of the oven and the different foods you can cook at different temperatures. We also host groups for staff retreats, birthday parties, and other kinds of events where the farm is both a source of nourishment and inspiration. We provide many opportunities for people to visit our farm and experience the blend of nature and organic agriculture. And we often express this integration as permaculture. At our farm school, we make healthy, seasonal, artistic food in every season. The children feel deeply connected to the food that we grow and the nature that surrounds it. They become aware of the cycle of time and develop their own ethical relationship to place. We believe that this kind of relationship among today's youth will be essential for protecting the soil, water, and air long into the future. And we can do so much more than grow and prepare food on an organic farm. After straining the honey from the beeswax, we can make our own candles with the newer high-quality wax, and we can make fire starter with the lower quality wax. In nature, nothing is wasted. That should be the goal of our farms and our schools as well. We can even use leaves and flowers as art supplies. This is so cool, everybody. And if these flowers are just for the taking at the end of the event, if anybody wants to come make some art with me, I would love to show you this activity, okay? We could do it. The different seasons have different colors, and the art is also helping children take a closer look at the beauty and wonders of nature. This observation helps children and adults get over fears of things like insects, which actually prevents a lot of people from having a closer relationship with nature and farming. And they grow up with an appreciation and a desire to protect nature rather than a fear of it and a desire, conscious or unconsciously, to destroy it. And there are so many lessons that are possible on a farm with animals. Our farm is too small to sell our animal products. Their main purposes are educational and for feeding the school children. So we're using our farm animals for the eggs and the milk. And the children have a very close relationship to these animals. It's important for the children to develop a stronger sense of connection to the non-human world. And to the children, animals are very relatable and lovable. At our urban farm, we keep not only bees, but also chickens, rabbits, and goats. By helping tend and care for the animals, the students are learning about how to take care of living things, and they are developing a strong sense of compassion and appreciation for life. Domestic animals also help to teach children how to be calm and peaceful so that the animals won't be afraid of them. This is a fantastic lesson. Many children, especially in cities, don't have very good control of their bodies and their actions. We were learning maybe some of the reasons for that a little bit earlier, yeah? Farm animals help them develop their skills of patience and gentleness, qualities that are much needed in the world. At an appropriate scale and with ecological design, farm animals can also help add fertility to the soil through their manure and spent bedding. Every day, we feed our goats large amounts of blackberry, a plant that is invasive and difficult to control without using herbicides. And we don't use any chemical herbicides or pesticides. We practice organic farming. So borrowing a lesson from permaculture, we can turn a problem into a solution. Having goats has helped us greatly reduce the amount of blackberry plants on our 4-acre, so that's a little under 2-hectare farm. And in addition to bringing the children joy, the goats provide us with fresh, organic milk. And when we have a lot of milk, we'll make cheese with the children and use the cheese for cooking projects like making wood-fired pizzas. I also believe that organic agriculture should help preserve and renew culture, often through the celebration of cultural traditions and traditional foods. Industrial farming is not only a monoculture of plants, but it is also a monoculture of culture. We have an opportunity and a responsibility to consider how our endeavors can help preserve cultural foods, seeds, and traditions. At our farm school, families with diverse cultures take turns helping organize cultural events for the whole class as a special evening activity. The children and parents have an opportunity to grow their familiarity and appreciation for different flavors, cultures, and customs. And as this work is becoming more popular, connecting children with nature, as there's many crises that we're trying to address, I've been honored to have cultural exchanges and share some of the methods of connecting children with nature that I have learned in my lifetime. I've enjoyed learning new methods and integrated them into the work that I do in Portland and in the US. And after this conference, I will visit Japan, for the 11th time for a month-long teaching tour of children's activities, trainings from cities and locations ranging from Tokyo to Okinawa. And I'm already excited to integrate some of what I have learned here in Taiwan from you all, and can only hope that you also found some inspiration from me for taking positive action, particularly with the role of urban organic farms in supporting biodiversity and youth and child education. Thank you for the gift of your time and attention today. May your handprint be more impactful than your footprint wherever you go.